Hello, my dear students, and welcome back. Oh, I know your exams are just around the corner, so I'm here to make this really important chapter on money super simple for you. So let's just jump right in and make sure you're all set.
Okay, just close your eyes and imagine for a second you're really craving some spicy, yummy pani puri. But there are no rupees, no paisa, no notes, not even a single coin. How would you pay the bhaiya? Would you give him your favorite pen? Maybe your textbook? It sounds completely crazy, right? Well, for thousands and thousands of years, this is exactly how people lived.
You know, this system of just swapping things, it has a special name. We call it the barter system. It's a pretty simple idea, really. You have something, I have something, and we just exchange. You do this in class all the time, nah? Trading your blue pen for your friend's black one? See, that's barter in action.
But if it was so simple, why don't we still use it? Well, that's because the barter system had some major problems, some real headaches that made life very difficult. Let's dig in and see what they were. So, let's take that story right from your textbook. Imagine you're a farmer. You have an extra ox, a really strong, healthy one. And what you need is a new pair of shoes. So you go to the shoemaker and you say, "Here, take my ox and just give me some shoes." But the shoemaker looks at you and says, "What am I going to do with an ox? I don't need one." Uh-oh. Now what? You're completely stuck.
Now this problem, it has a very important name for your exams, so listen carefully. It's called the double coincidence of wants. It basically means you have to find someone who not only has what you want, but who also wants exactly what you have. Finding this perfect match, this perfect Jodi, it was almost impossible. It was literally like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
Okay, let's just say you get super lucky. You find a shoemaker who actually wants your ox. Amazing! But now a totally new problem pops up. How do you decide the value? I mean, is one big ox equal to 10 pairs of shoes? 50? 100? How do you know if you're getting a fair deal or if you're being cheated?
And this is the second big headache. It's called the lack of a common measure of value. Think about it. Without rupees, there's no price tag on anything. So everything is just a guess. One ox could be worth 100 bags of wheat to one person and just 50 to another. You can imagine. This led to endless bargaining, arguments, and very often really unfair trades.
And you know what? The problems just keep on coming. Let's say your ox is somehow worth 100 sweaters. Great, but you only need one sweater right now. Can you just chop off a little piece of the ox to pay for it? Of course not, Beta. And can you even imagine having to drag a huge ox all the way to the market every single time you needed to buy some salt or vegetables? So inconvenient.
So, the crucial point here is we've got two more big problems: divisibility and portability. Divisibility just means you can't break down big things, like an ox, into smaller bits for smaller purchases. And portability, well, it means it's just too difficult to carry your wealth around with you. An ox is not exactly pocket-friendly, is it?
Okay, final big problem. Let's imagine you somehow solve all the other issues and you trade your ox for, let's say, 100 bags of wheat. Yay! You've stored your wealth. But you can't possibly eat 100 bags of wheat in one day. So what happens to all the rest of it while it's just sitting in your house?
Exactly. The wheat can rot, it can get all wet in the rain, or just like this funny picture shows, the rats can decide to have a massive party and eat all your hard-earned wealth. This is called the problem of durability. So many goods used in barter, they just weren't built to last. You couldn't save them for the future.
So with all these problems, you've got double coincidence, no common value, things aren't divisible, they're not portable, and they're not durable. People desperately needed a hero, an invention to fix everything. And that hero was money. It was literally created to solve every single one of these barter system headaches. And you know what? Money came with 4 amazing superpowers. Now this is very important for your exams, so listen closely. It acts as a medium of exchange, a measure of value, a store of value, and a standard for deferred payment. Don't worry, we'll come back to these superpowers at the end for a quick revision.
But the money we use today, you know, the notes and coins, it didn't just appear out of nowhere overnight. Oh no. It has been on a long, fascinating journey through thousands of years of history. Let's take a quick look at that incredible evolution.
Just look at this timeline of money right here in India. We started with barter, then we moved to things like cowrie shells. But why? Well, think about it. Shells were way more durable and portable than an ox. Then we made a jump to metal coins.
Why? Because metal was even more durable, it was rare, and kings could stamp their faces on it to guarantee its value. From there, paper money made big transactions easier, and now, in your lifetime, you've seen the jump to digital money like UPI for ultimate convenience. What a journey, right?
Now, here's something really interesting. It wasn't just shells and coins. All around the world, people used all sorts of crazy things for money. On one island, they used these huge stone discs called rye stones. And on another, they used coils made of thousands of tiny red bird feathers. For those people, these things were valuable simply because they were rare and hard to get. Can you even believe it?
And this just brilliantly illustrates our own history in India. On the left, you can see a stunning gold coin from the Chalukya kings, more than 1,000 years old. And on the right, a shiny 20 rupee coin that you might have in your pocket right now. You see, the form has changed so much, but the idea behind it is exactly the same. A portable, durable item that everyone agrees has value.
That's right, the journey from those ancient coins has now brought us to something that isn't even physical. We've actually moved from coins you can hold in your hand to QR codes on a screen.
Even our paper money has changed a whole lot. Just look at this old note from the Bank of Bombay. It looks so simple. Now compare that to the 100 rupee note we use today, with all its different colors, special threads, and watermarks. So why the big change? Well, technology has made our money not just easier to use, but much, much safer from anyone trying to make fake notes.
And today, for you guys, money isn't just in a wallet. Most of the time, it's on your parents' phone. When you go to a shop, you see them scan a QR code and pay with UPI. Money has become invisible, just a number on a screen. The fruit seller, the Pani Puri Bhaiya, everyone uses it. It's the latest step in this amazing story, all driven by our need for things to be faster and more convenient.
All right, everyone, pay close attention now. This is probably the most important part for your exams. I'm going to give you the perfect answer to a very, very common question. Ready? Let's revise.
In your exam, it's very, very likely you'll be asked this question. What are the 4 main functions of money? Or maybe they'll ask, how does money solve the problems of the barter system? Now, I want you to remember those 4 superpowers we talked about earlier.
Here is your perfect answer. Go on, take a screenshot of this slide. First, money is a medium of exchange. This solves that whole double coincidence of wants problem. Second, it's a measure of value. This gives everything a common price, so no more guessing games. Third, it is a store of value. This means you can save it without worrying about it rotting like wheat. And fourth, it's a standard of deferred payment. Now that's a fancy term that simply means money lets us buy now and pay later, something that's very hard to do with an ox. Just remember these 4 points, Beta, and I promise you will get full marks.
And just before we finish, here is a little thought for you. We've gone from shells and stones to invisible digital numbers on a phone just in our own history. So what's next? What do you think money will look like when you are my age? Will it be something we can't even imagine today? Think about it. All the very best for your exams, my dear students. You are going to do wonderfully. See you in the next explainer.